Well, hi guys, it's Ian at SS8000 Cars, and we're in the Gulf R, and we're down at Castle Combe, which is an old village down in the West Country, and we're going to chat a little bit about the comparison between the 3-door Golf R and the 5-door Golf R, which is the one we're in today. Getting on our way, and maybe a little bit of footage of the drive. Now, the one thing that I have been asked, and I want to start with here actually, the one thing I have been asked is whether the dynamic handling package that's actually on this car and our car, which is the Golf R without the dynamic handling package, whether it makes a difference, both in terms of handling and whether it affects the subtleness of the suspension. To answer the question on the dynamic handling package, I don't really notice the difference. Now, I drove in a quite spirited fashion on the way through the country lanes from the M4 to Castle Combe, and I'm not sure I really was aware of any noticeable difference. What I will say is the Golf is very sure-footed in these sort of conditions, especially on some of the roads. There's one cut through which goes past a couple of farms, and quite clearly there were tractors on the road, and it's sort of covered in soil and earth, and the car felt like it was just on a normal dry road, which I suspect is something to do with the way the car's set up from a suspension viewpoint, but also in terms of how well the four-wheel drive system manages the power. Now, I have commented before that actually you do notice, you're coming out of a T-junction like now, if I was to floor it, you would get some scrabble at the front of the car before the car found traction, and whilst it was trying to deliver the drive to the rear of the car effectively. Because this is predominantly a front-wheel drive car. It sends 90% of the power apparently to the front wheels and 10% to the rear under normal driving conditions. Unlike the RS Focus, it's really a rear-wheel drive balanced car, except when it detects slippage and sends some of the power to the front. Almost every time I come along these roads, I get somebody in front of me. The power available to you in this car is just immense, as you may well have just seen there. You really can shift quickly. Obviously have to be mindful about what else is on the road at the same time, but I'm not even in race, I'm in sports, and you have the sports facility available in each of the options. So whether you're in economy, individual or race, you have the ability to knock the gear lever down and it goes immediately into sports. It's just a phenomenal amount of power available. I mean, the RS Focus is a little faster, I'd say, because it has 345 HP to this car's 300. So, given I imagine they weigh about the same, I'd say that car has got to be a little bit quicker. But the advantage of this car, from my viewpoint, because I do a lot of driving, is that I've been able to select the DSG box, and therefore the car's effectively a twin clutch automatic system. And although I miss the clutch and manual gearbox that you can get, I have to say, if I want to go out in a manual gearbox, I use the GT4, which has a beautiful manual gearbox. And I just think for everyday driving, especially if you're driving in town a bit, which I do, it's easier if you have an automatic gearbox, because you're not on it the whole time. That's the point, isn't it? 90% of your driving is mundane, and therefore you want a car that's reasonably quiet and does things for you. And then from time to time, you want to be able to shift. But you know, you can see the conditions on the road here are utterly appalling. And yet the car is just so fixed. A really fast machine, and so well balanced. It's just beautifully balanced, this car. Especially for a driver like me. makes a nice noise as well. I just do feel like this car is sort of perfectly set up for this sort of driving, and you can really go for it without feeling the back tyres or the front tyres slipping anyway. A little bit careful about changing down because sometimes that can throw the car slightly offline. Lovely noise and upshift. I don't know whether you're able to pick that up or not, but it's a bit like the McLaren, although maybe not quite as noisy, where when you click into the next gear it gives you a lovely great noise, like a shot. Right, so where does this car fit? I mean, predominantly I do like the 5-door, has to be said. I don't think it looks quite as sporty as the 3-door. I think the 3-door has with the slightly longer door, shorter rear, I think the 3-door looks a little more sporty. But this with the 19-inch rims, which I mentioned in the last video, I really do like. I think it really looks good, given it's a 4-door hatch. And I think if I was going to choose one, if I was buying from new, I'd probably choose to have the 5-door. But as you probably know, and I think I mentioned last time, they've introduced the new model of Golf for the 2017 year, so it's probably, if you're going to have a new Golf, probably worth waiting until that car is available, because I think it's, although the body panels look very similar to me, the inside has been tidied up a little bit to offer a little bit more in terms of technology and interface with the various systems that are available, and also in terms of the lighting on the car has been changed as well. Okay guys, please make sure you subscribe, and it's Ian from SS8000 Cars signing off for the moment.